Welcome to the Ashes to Rubies live. What are we? Live podcast. Live
Live
streaming and
stream
podcasting.
and podcast.
Yeah, two in one. It is a special week today. You are going to Recovery Festival on Friday
in Ottawa. There was a thing that started that was called Recovery Day. It is now called the WOW Festival, Working on Wellness Festival. I think they want to be more inclusive of mental health.
Yeah.
There can be a lot of cross-linking.
Overlapping.
Some overlap, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
People start addictions because of mental health, or addiction can cause some mental health.
And not all mental health is addiction related, but true. Many times people in addiction are struggling with their mental health either before or after they start using.
It's true. I struggled before and after. I don't want to be ignorant and discount this day. I realized it was 9/11 today. Watching a little football, Dallas Cowboys handily destroyed the Giants. But before the celebration, Queen Latifah. Do you know who Queen Latifah is? Yeah, of course you do. Everybody does. She got to sing the national anthem. Didn't even help the Giants.
Does a memory like remembering like, oh, it's 9/11 make you pause and think, and like, what is there like some, when you realize that, is there some thought that happened? Or
yeah, because I think we all shared a traumatic experience. Obviously it's more traumatic to people right at the epicenter, but yeah, it was an infringement on our civil national rights, so to say. It was almost like a war. It was all of those things kind of. And I remember where I was in Toronto. Those are the memories that we have. Like, most of us can tell where we were at a certain hockey game score where Canada wins, or pleasant ones like that, but then tragic ones like 9/11.
And I think that for me, what comes into play when I think about it is often just like what you said. I distance myself. Like, I experienced fear, I experienced insecurity, I experienced like my life was upset by that.
Were you at Parliament Hill?
I was actually a travel agent at the time, and so it significantly impacted us. Like, we were we were corporate government travel. So and so what I have a tendency to do is to distance myself from, oh, that's not my trauma. That's not my, and I do the same thing when someone passes away, right? Like, I'm like, I feel so many feels, or, but I feel like I need to shut that down because, oh, it's not really I wasn't as close as their friends. I wasn't as close.
Did you get sent home?
I was at home.
Because you were. Okay. Because they really vacated downtown.
I was on vacation.
What's coming.
I believe they did get shut down, but then, no, they did not get shut down. I got called in. Okay. So I was supposed to be on vacation for the rest of the week, but they needed people to come in because we were slammed. Like, our phones were going off and you can't not answer. Like, we had.
I was in the T-Dot listening to Howard Stern, doing a pickup with my tractor trailer, and before I got on my tractor trailer, I was like, they were saying like a plane hit the tower. I was like, in my mind, it was like a Cessna, some guys like drinking and airplaning. That never goes well. And then I got back in and I heard the whole thing unravel. So yeah, we just remember all the people that were involved and all the lives and all of that stuff. We are reading today on September 11th. So join us for our meditation part of the morning. And we basically, meditation is taking an idea and just rolling around with it, talking to God about it, and gives you something to chew on today.
Yeah, we read a thought, then we read a bit of a meditation, and then we'll close with a prayer of blessing.
So the thought today is continuing the answers to the question of, how can a man live without liquor and be happy?
Good question.
Oh man, I said that.
That was a question.
I've actually proved that point is you can't. We'll talk about it. We tell him he will be bound to another AAs in new and wonderful ties, for he and they will escape disaster together, and all will commence shoulder to shoulder the common journey to a better and more satisfactory life. He will know what it means to give himself that others may survive and rediscover life. He will become happy, respected, and useful once more. Since these things have happened to us, they can happen to him. That's a quote, I believe, out of the Big Book. Have these things happened to me? Question mark.
Well, that would be a promise also.
That is a promise.
It's basically telling us, like, you're going through this, learning how to have fun without alcohol, how to live without alcohol, how to live without whatever thing you've been going to. You can do it. And here's some people that are learning it alongside you. And so that makes it easier.
You get to, like, the whole point of that comment is a promise that you will find purpose and meaning in life that other people have found, that you get to join with them in that purpose.
Okay.
Meditation. God manifests himself in human lives as strength to overcome evil and power to resist temptation. The grace of God is that power which enables a human being to change from a useless, hopeless individual to a useful, normal person. Normal. God also manifests himself as love. Love for a fellow man, compassion for their problems, and a real willingness to help them. The grace of God also manifests itself as peace of mind and serenity of character. We can have plenty of power, love, and serenity in our lives if we are willing to ask God for these things each day. There's a key right there. Each day.
I feel definitely like in the early years of, I definitely thought alcohol and drugs was your problem that was significantly affecting me. And when that problem was removed, like, there was a certain element of like, I can breathe now. But then other problems started to creep up, right? And so I feel like that I can really relate to that of like, oh no, I needed a serenity for life. And I needed more than just the absence of alcohol.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. We need a new solution. Like, when I look back on that, I actually remember like having some consequences with drinking and being like, okay, maybe I can go to the party and not drink tonight. And I was like,
that wasn't fun.
Yeah. Like, we've all heard the saying, like, you can't have fun without drinking. Okay. I proved it was true. Like, I went to these functions, I did the things, and I was like, I didn't drink. And I'm like, this is a nightmare. Like, you can't literally have fun without drinking. But we
figured out why.
Because all the activities I was doing demanded alcohol.
Right.
Like, those are alcoholic activities.
We were doing alcohol-centric activities.
Sitting at the bar, playing QB1. And I'm like, or the trivia game. And it's like, just having nachos. And I'm like, oh, this is horrible. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the point of this? And it's or going to a party and not drinking. And it's like, like, so I did all this. Where do you think
the real shift happened for you?
The real shift is when drinking became my nightmare and using, and I had to never drink again because it didn't work and I wasn't in control of my actions or my thoughts. And then I needed to get help. And so I didn't know the solution was I just thought I had a problem and the solution was abstinence. Right. But then I realized my recovery has nothing to do with abstinence. It has everything to do with a new solution, which causes abstinence. And that's God's job. And
we began to actively seek out other activities. We realized like, we can do, there's many things. I mean, I knew because I didn't think everybody drank. I didn't think everybody drank like you. You thought everybody drank like you. I didn't.
Because I hang out.
I knew that wasn't true. Because the friends that I hung out with at high school, they barely drank. And so I remember when we started like having new adventures and new opportunities and the new things that we would do that actually were really fun. And the people that we were with, we made some new friends and started going to new places.
But the point they're making is that you get to scrap the old life. You can have abstinence, but it's not about bettering your life and having fun other ways. It's more about you're going to join this mission that we're on to save other lives and pass on a message with weight and depth that will transform them. And then that's what's going to bring you happiness,
Right.
of seeing like real people being raised from the dead.
Right.
And I've got to see that over the last 17 years. Like my first service job was at a mentally ill home, a care home for guys with mental illness. And it's like every day I was like, this is interesting. And it was like, it changed my whole thinking and everything inside of me to go, what's important.
And I think that goes in line with something that you often say. And it's not like, I'm not going to change my whole life. Like, it's not like I'm going to want to. Wait, no, God's not going to change what I do. God's going to change what I want to do. And so through this, life change and basically saying to God, like, I suck at running my life and I need help.
Well, you see these people start missions and stuff, like maybe a suicide in their family, or they have cancer and they recovered from it. Like my friend Heidi, she had a baby and they told her to terminate the birth and because of her cancer treatment, and she didn't. And now she's a spokesperson nationally
for breast cancer.
So our tears become our mission, because God's transformed our hearts and done a work in us, and alcohol doesn't even make sense anymore, or whatever, the old life, because now you get to be a witness to the power of God. Yeah, that's the draw.
And I mean, I love the fact that we have a really full life with lots of fun stuff. And, if alcohol is in our path, it doesn't, like, you're in a place of neutrality where it's not a problem. If someone else is drinking, that's not a problem for you. We don't particularly enjoy being around drunkenness. Like, that starts to not get fun.
I leave the party at a certain time.
But we'll go to the party. That's totally fine.
9:00 I start.
And we enjoy those people. Like, it's not, I have nothing against other people drinking. In early recovery, it's a little harder for people to like be around it, because they still have those cravings and obsessions and things going on inside of them. But I think the promise and in the big book, it says, like, I will be relieved of that physical craving and the mental obsession.
I remember going to my first hockey game in my first year of recovery, and I was like, everybody's drinking and they're so big. And I'm like, and I could smell it. And now I'm like, I don't even notice it at a hockey game. And all right.
Are you going to pray us out?
I remember going camping for the first time.
Oh boy.
And camping was typically a drinking activity, and I didn't drink, and I set up the tent and the goose poo, and I cleaned up, and it's like the sun's coming down and I'm like sweating. I'm like, this is hard work. Like, how did I drink and do this? And we had fun.
We had a really good camping trip.
Because it's us against the elements.
So the car broke down.
Prayer for today. Here's our prayer for today. I pray that I may see God's grace in the strength I receive, the love I know, and the peace I have. I pray that I may be grateful for the things I have received through the grace of God. Amen. Keep the peace, be of good behavior, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Pray that for you.